Well, today's pretty big, isn't it? If we're looking at progress in this Build a Nation story, we've got a chance to overturn a deficit and win a brand new trophy for the first time. And we've also got a chance to get through in a Champions League to the knockout round, which would just be ridiculous. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 133 of this Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today to face Derry City in a second leg of the All-Ireland Cup final. Of course, they're the side that we beat to get to the Champions League group stage for the first time, but they beat us in the first leg of this one, and away from home, we have got a lot of work to do. We'll then face Glenavon off camera as, quite frankly, our lead at the top of the Irish Premiership is largely unassailable now. And then we come back for Marseille at home, which is a huge opportunity. We've got 9 points in the Champions League. We've got the big two up front performing above all expectation. And if they can do it once more, we might be through to the playoff round and the money will start rolling in. We'll keep an eye on how the other sides are doing in Europe as well. We should have a youth intake preview pretty soon too. If you're looking forward to all of that and seeing how we get on today, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Hopefully we can continue the progress, albeit we did drop our first 2 league points against Linfield last time. But off camera, we've only played 1 game since the last episode, and it was a good 3-0 win at Glentoran. We rotated fully, as you can see from the lineup. We left out the first 11. We'd played a lot of the youth players in an under 18 or a reserve game, so I didn't really have the squad to rotate. But I did make sure we got the job done. Missalidis got a brace, Dermot Lafferty got 1, and now we've had 4 days off, and we should have the whole squad to choose from. So let's go and get through to the first game today. There is no point waiting up. We are 1-0 down against Derry City after the first leg of this about 3 weeks ago, but that was in the international break. We have key players missing. Today, we'll be putting out our first 11. Derry City, I would imagine, are pretty strong as well. They've won the Irish Premiership yet again. And their season finished, a good week or 2 ago. So they should be nice and fresh. They won it by 2 points. They're going to go for it again. They're a great side to watch. But we know we can beat them. Can we do it today? Let's go and get our 11 picks. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, here we are with, I think, the strongest 11 we can possibly put out today. We've got 1 injury, which is Damien Dunn. He should be back for next midweek against Marseille, but we'll miss the next 2. We know we've got Paul Elliott coming in January. But this is the squad that we've got out. It is Neil Kane in goal, with Reid and Stowder fullbacks, McKenzie and Smith as centre-half. Jude is still only able to do 75 minutes. He comes in alongside Gash in centre midfield. Maraval, Austin and Scully are the big 2 through the middle, with Ben Parry and Stephen Cowan playing either side of them. It's a very strong bench. Lafferty and Missalidis were great at the weekend. Goss is coming back to fitness on the bench too. And Daly and Beaton, they're solid pros. I mean, this is a very good squad. It's just whether we can find our form in front of goal. When this 11's been out, we've normally been a threat to most. They're not too fatigued today because they had the weekend off. So can they deliver in this one? There's no pressure on you, but you are 1-0 down. And I do expect to win this trophy for the first time. So there's quite a little bit of pressure, isn't there? No players we recognise in this team, bar the midfielders who we've been linked with a few times in the past. It's a very good crowd. There's some away fans in as well. And look at that front too. If they perform Maraval, Austin and Scully, we have got a chance in any game. None of this 11 will be playing against Glenavon, so we've not got to worry about the fitness too much. And then they've just got to stay fit for Marseille. So hopefully no big injuries and a good performance to come with it. We're 10 minutes gone. It's been very quiet so far. Going to encourage the lads because they're all looking a little bit flat at the minute. We've got the ball in goal with Neil Kane and he plays out the Stow. Has support down the line from Parry. He goes back to Stowell again. Chips over the top. Ben Parry runs in behind. Scully's in the middle if he can find him. But Roberts gets there. Parry nicks in. Is that offside? I think it might be. I'm not getting excited yet. Oh, he's not giving it. Oh, that looked tight to me. Ben Parry crosses for Mark Scully. And the big man up front. He scored again. I mean, having a player who's such a good advance forward and also 6 for 8. It's the most underrated thing in Football Manager, let me tell you. Not something I've normally had the luxury of in the past, but we'll enjoy it while we've got it. Half an hour gone. This tie is level on aggregate. It nearly changes there. Great save from Neil Kane from a free kick. And Smith heads the second one away. Parry flicks it on. Is that the danger over? It is. Half an hour gone. It's a very even match. Derry City are giving as good as they got, and they are a very good side. Both Irish leagues have improved, and the Republic of Ireland is on that front as Sean Ball puts in for 1-1. We're back behind on aggregate. Hey, look, they've got a fancy TV in the corner. Why can't we have that? We're going to encourage them. It's been a pretty average performance, to be honest, and Derry have given it a good game as Gash gets the ball in the centre circle, finds Cowan, who releases Mark Scully in one-on-one, beats the goalkeeper. Click of the thumbs there. He beats the goalkeeper for 2-1. It's 2-2 on aggregate. We're hitting them on the break. I'm almost tempted to play this like a Champions League game and drop to balanced and then hit them on the counter. We're going to do it till half time anyway. But we're back in front on the night. We're back on terms in the tie. And we've still got a chance of winning this trophy. You'd hope now, with where we are in the Irish Prem, that we are going to win that every year now. And we are going to be in this trophy every season. But what a performance that was, particularly at the end of the half. Now let's see if we can keep it up and bring the trophy home. Get a first one under our belt. We're 10 minutes into the second half. It's been a pretty quiet start given what we saw in the first, as Ferguson has it for Derry City. They're pouncing. They've got nearly everyone in our half, but we've forced them back to the keeper, who plays out again. Claridge into the centre circle. Wide to Roberts at right back. Down the line to Houlihan. You can see it. They're a good side. They've got good footballers. They're pretty much on a par with us. Be one hell of a title race if they were in here with Linfield and Larne. As Roberts cuts it inside. Good play from him. Shots just wide of the post. Neil Kane had it covered. It stays 2-1 on the night. It's been a pretty good game of football, but I'm not 100% confident we win this yet. We've got to have a look at players we might want to bring off. We've got to have a look at who can change the game for us. I don't think we're far from Misselidis, if I'm being honest, but here's Kane at the back. Takes a goal kick with just under a quarter to go. Gavin Reid can carry it forward. And he's not really got any pressure on him. Up towards Scully, who holds up well. Finds Gash, Cowan and Merivale Austin running off him. And it's a great save from the latter by the goalkeeper. And it's out for a corner kick. That could have been the moment. It's going to be a corner for Reid here, who will deliver, hopefully, to the far post. There's a few big men up there. Luke Smith's one of them. Ferguson wins the header. Back into the box and over from Smith. He's not had a great game here. It stays 2-1. Let's think about changes because Cowan's now picked up a knock as well. So we'll see out this highlight and then make the subs. Just gives us the cue for Misselidis, doesn't it? As Kane plays out the Stow at left back. He'll be one to come off as well. Finds Ben Parry, who loses the ball. Had a good game, but that wasn't his best moment. As Claridge gives it to Ferguson. And Coleman up towards Nash. Good overlapping run from right. We're in trouble here. They've got support. That's offside, referee. That is offside, referee. Get your flag up. Well done. 2-1 it remains, but that was a little too close for comfort. Cowan is now going to come off. He'll be replaced by Misselidis. We're going to bring off. Jude is going to have to go for Neil Daly. Kyle Carton at left back. At right back, we'll go for Tommy Murphy. Oh, it's only 3 subs, so we won't be doing that. We've made the 3 we need to. Let's get through to the end. If we get to extra time and we get an extra sub, then it will be Merivale Austin. But for now, we just want to try and get a winner, which doesn't look like it's coming at the moment. Going to encourage them with 5 to go, as we are on the front foot with Gavin Reid. Play short to Scully, who holds up for Reid again. And it's back to Neil Daly, to Carr. The sub left back plays in Daly again. Chips over to Scully. Was he onside? Oh, he's hit the post. It doesn't matter. It's offside anyway, but that was a great opportunity. And we are opening them up more than they are to us. Long ball forward this time, though. Gash does really well. Gets it back to Neil Kane and out to Carr. Brimming with confidence following us getting him in that Northern Ireland squad. He's flying down the left here. Plays short to Daly. Has support from McKenzie. Chips down the left towards Parry. Roberts misses the header but does get there. And he goes back to his keeper who just punts it downfield. Who's going to win it? McKenzie ducks but Carr's there to cover. And he goes back to the keeper. Do we need to be seeing all of this? This is not a key highlight so far. This might be though, as Daly releases Merivale Austin. Scully's played onside by the left back. Oh, it's off the line by Ferguson. He just couldn't get enough on it. He placed it under the keeper, but without enough power. And it's off the line as Smith gets it at the back. Oh, he's had an awful game and he's given the ball away. Might cost us the match. Neil Kane saves it. This is an end-to-end game of football. It's brilliant to watch as a neutral. But when you're managing one of the sides, it's far from ideal. Oh, we've won it. I did not know the rules. I did not know the rules and I apologise. But by luck more than judgment, we have won on away goals in the Irish Champions Cup. I mean, to be honest, I'm quite glad we've not got extra time, which I was worried about the extra 30. But what a result. Our first trophy of the season. Our first All-Ireland Champions Cup in our 14th season. We are making progress now. Neil Kane lifts the trophy. And the home crowd will not be particularly thrilled about that. I'm not sure that many of them would still have been in a stadium. What a result. What a performance. We did have the better of the game. And away goals. Well, it still exists in one competition. And it's done us a big favour there. Let's go and get through Glenavon with a reserve side off camera. Hopefully no slip-ups in that one. We'll be back in a minute to face Marseille. Well, here we go then. A chance against Marseille to make history in the Champions League. Our first league stage campaign could end with us qualifying for the playoff. We have got a few problems and concerns with injury. Cowan went off last midweek, but he should be alright. Goss is building his fitness, did an hour at the weekend. Kyle Cardo picked up a knock on Saturday and he is out for this one. Let's have a look though at that scoreline. It was very comfortable. A 4-1 win at home to Glenavon. Actually chucked a couple of under-18s players on the bench because we couldn't fill it with fit players. And in the end, two of them came on. Huxley, the right winger, set up the fourth goal for Missalidis. The other scorers were Tommy Murphy, Brendan Thompson and Kyle Carr before he came off. But what a good day at the office that was. Now we focus on Marseille. A reminder, we are on 9 points in the Champions League. Let's just get it up. You can see 13th place. One more win basically guarantees us a top 24 place and a big position in that knockout round, which is just unthinkable. Again, any results we pick up, a draw is about 800 grand of prize money. A win is 2.4 million. We cannot turn these opportunities down to build this balance and build this football club. Let's make ourselves a powerhouse as we play at home to Marseille. It is a big opportunity. Nearly 6,500 fans in. That's what we want to see. They've still got a few of the experienced players about. The only one I think starting today is Rayan Shirky. But perhaps a little unlike what we had with Fiorentina, they've got a fair few good younger players as well, which might prove to be our undoing. So the same 11 that won that new trophy are going out in this one. Damien Dunn is back on the bench, and of course we get 12 subs. So just Lewis Scott, the injured Cart, and the 3 youth players that don't make the bench. Dermot Lafferty has said that he wants to leave the club at the end of his contract, but that's not for another year yet. And the rest of it, well, it's high quality, isn't it? Going forward, we're probably only beaten developing away from being a Premier League level strike force, but at the back, there's still a bit of work to do. Hopefully, the goal threat will carry us through today. Marseille have got a much younger side than some of the other teams we've faced, and I wonder if that's going to be our undoing. We're into it with just one player change in for Marseille today. I should mention, they would normally be able to fill the bench. They have got loads of injuries. Levi Colwell is one of their experienced ones. He's got a broken leg. They've got 3 or 4 others out as well, all long-termers. So maybe that will help us out, I don't know. Igor Tudor, the Croat, is still in charge. Let's go and say, impress us, give us your best in the first half. And maybe their injuries will help us. Who knows? Through to the first half we go. We don't need to hear the theme tune. We just need to get into the football. Well, we've got the usual glitch with the stadium. No fans showing in the home ends. But I'm not worried if we get the result, as Merival Austin is put through by a long ball. That's very good goalkeeping in fairness. Well done to Pierre. And he'll look to counter with a big ball over the top. Out it goes towards Mackenzie, who doesn't head it fully clear. Shirky can't do much with it though. And Ben Parry will carry down the left. Here he comes down the line. He's got a few men around him, but he's forced back to Stow. Keeps the ball well and cuts it into Jude. Chips over towards Parry, who might have been offside. We're going to have to start again here though. Marseille are taking risks. They're playing out from the back and they lose it to Jude. Merival lost in release, but he can't keep it. And it's over the top to Mounier. We could be in trouble. Mounier's in. It's a great effort. And it's just over the bar. Neil Kane did enough. And it remains 0-0. As it's a throw on the left-hand side for Marseille. They really are the better team at the moment. No, Merival Austin nicks it right on cue. Has Scully in support. Not many up with them, but Parry gets there eventually. Great through ball to Scully. Forced a little wide. Can he cut it back? No, he tries to shoot. The second one falls for Merival Austin. And it's off the line from Diamandi. But again, we are starting the game well. We're creating early chances. And it's so interesting that most of these teams, they just aren't ready for it. They don't expect us to press high. They don't expect us to keep the same mentality at home to them. And we are in a Champions League causing a real shockwave. And again, I know we might not win this one, but if we could get a draw, it's a brilliant result. Every point counts as Reed finds Scully. In behind he goes. That's a foul, and that's a red card, referee. It's either inside the box and it's a penalty, or it's outside the box and it's a red. I would argue, from that animation, that there was no clear attempt to get the ball, and it should be a red anyway. But they'll probably say that it was actually a genuine effort. Let's see what happens. Merival Austin will take it. There's no red card, so the animation must not have reflected that it was a genuine attempt to win the ball. As Austin sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's 1-0 to Distillery. We're doing it again. Oh, those two players, what a difference they've made. What was it like for 13 years? We couldn't win a league title. We didn't have Merival Austin or Scully. And now, we're just a different team. Imagine if we can sign a left winger and a couple of defenders of that quality. What on earth are other teams going to do with us? As Shirky gets the ball in from a corner, there are, 6 players in there for Marseille. We've got to be wary of this. Achterberg's up, Merival Austin there. Don't forget he's 6'2" as well. And he wins the second one. Brilliant work. Marseille have had more of the chances, but we've had the big one from the penalty spot. We're sandwiched between Celtic and Real Madrid in a group stage at the minute. It's not a bad effort, is it, for Lisburn Distillery? As they're playing out Marseille, they're persisting with it, and we're catching them out with Stephen Cowan. Takes on his man down the right. Burst of pace. It's brilliant stuff. Loses it eventually, though. Here are Marseille keeping the ball, but again, not really finding that way out as Smith knocks it down for Gavin Reed. He finds Smith again. Support in the middle. Goes back to Mackenzie. Very patient, very professional, and crucially, very composed. As Stow finds Merival Austin, the star boy. Gets to the byline. Chips up towards Scully. Header into the corner. There's the advantage of being 6'8" against any defence. Doesn't matter what team you're playing, what level of quality they've got. If you've got an aerial ball and you're half a foot taller than the others, you've always got half a chance. It's 2-0 at half-time. It's a brilliant result. Not the best performance at the group stage for us, but we'll certainly take the outcome at the moment. It's the star two getting the goals again. They are running the show for us. Without them, we probably wouldn't score a goal against these guys. As Shirky gets the ball in the middle. Here we go again. Can we nick it off them high? Or are we going to finally be forced into a game? Because we have conceded goals a lot, though. Gash nicks it high. Merival Austin to Scully. Finds Cowan. Into Merival Austin. Oh, it's those two at it again. It's a good save this time. Away as far as Gash. And it's cleared downfield. Stow, it was a foul, but he gets away with it. And it stays 2. It's a remarkable effort, this. Let's have a look at the league table at the minute. Because there's a few of the sides doing really well and much better than you'd expect. And maybe we're not the only ones surprising the odds this year. Stow goes back to Kane. Big ball over the top. And it's up towards Scully, who again wins it because he's 6'8". Achterberg to Massett. They clear it away. But can we keep pressing them? Because at the moment, we're nicking it enough times to cause a trouble. As Scully does it again to Merival Austin. Shots over the bar. That one every time. They work so hard. And that's the bit with those 2 or 3 that we haven't accounted for. They work their backsides off for us. And at the moment, it is 2-0 with 20 minutes to go. And I think we're going to make changes because Jude is knackered. So is Gash. They're both players we should be resting, really. There's a couple of others struggling too. Parry's not playing that well. As Damien Jude puts it over. There are 15 minutes left. Let's go and make our changes. Gavin Reed will be replaced by Tommy Murphy. He scored at the weekend. We know he's good enough. Gash and Jude in the middle will be replaced by the returning Damien Dunn, who needs some fitness. And also by Neil Daly. We'll bring on Beaton, I think. Or, yeah, we'll go Beaton number 10 for Merival Austin. And we'll take Ben Parry off for Missalidis, who will be an inverted winger off the left-hand side. Could have even been an inside forward, but we'll stick with that for now. We're not really weakening this team, are we? I have thought about it, playing Missalidis as an inverted winger off the left as our first choice player, but I don't want to become too reliant on loans, and I like having him as a very similar option to Scully up front. It works in the league as Trebelsi gets the ball in. Scully nicks it again. What work from him to Daly. In the centre circle to Damien Dunn. Gets it wide to Cowan. And this is the thing with having fresh legs in midfield of the same quality. You're bringing on players who can press just as hard, who work just as hard. And again, they've got the quality to deliver as Cowan gets to the byline. Crossing to Missalidis. There's the benefit of having height at the back post. Missalidis in. We said signing him was going to make us an irresistible force because we now had depth of the quality of Scully. And he's come off the bench and delivered it. I'm in dreamland at the moment. This is a decent Marseille team that have got 6 points already. And I know away from home the AI teams don't always show ambition. But let me just repeat this for you. Last season, the 3 goal scorers were not here. Until last October, none of them had joined the club. And in last season's group stage in Europe, none of them were present. And look at the difference they make. As Kane gets the ball. I mean, even Max Whelan, to be fair, was good. Before that, we didn't have any striker of those qualities. Rui Hartman's the only one who even briefly stopped by. As Damien Dunn gets it to Beaton. He turns inside. Good ball to Misselidis. This could be our biggest ever European win. A 4-0 lead. Misselidis scores it. And in the Champions League group stage, this is our biggest win by away. Let me repeat it for you here. Lisburn Distillery 4. Marseille 0. Where the hell has that come from? Stow down the left to Misselidis. He is making one hell of an impact out there. And he might be forcing his way into the first team. As Trabelsi heads away to Cortez. Mounier's up, but Dunn wins it. Beaten in behind again. Misselidis into Scully. He's offside. We'll go to VAR. This one won't count. It's been a joy to watch. And I tell you what, we've got our new first choice left winger there. There is no way I can leave him out after that. We'll make Lafferty the sub-striker again. We'll make Parry or Beaton the sub number 10. And Misselidis will be the starting left winger. He's just too good to leave out. As Marseille play through, can we hold on to the clean sheet? Neil Kane does well with that in fairness, and he'll roll it out. I mean, this is remarkable. I'm not sure where the home fans are, but we'll enjoy the day. As Damien Dunn over the top to Misselidis. Gets down the byline again. Scully's in the middle. There's other support too. He's hit the post. He scored 2 already. He's feeling confident. Oh, what a performance. I'm having the time of my life here. 4-0 Lisburn Distillery are going to win. It's not been a 4-0 game in fairness, but we've torn them apart since they've been chasing the game. And we get 12 points in our opening Champions League campaign. Still a couple of games to go, but we're not going to win away at Newcastle. Let's be honest about that. But it should be enough. Well, it will be enough for a top 24 place. And we might even get home advantage in the second leg if we can creep in the top 16. The top 8's probably out of the question. Newcastle beat us, they go above us as an example. But to play in the Champions League after the group stage would be one hell of an effort. Well done to the lads, a brilliant performance. Now let's go and have a look at the schedule and see what we're going to be back for. Because there's some big games coming up in this one. We've got a couple of cup games for the rest of this month. But if we win the League Cup semi-final, that final will be in mid-January. And it will probably be in and around the time we play away at Newcastle. So that is probably going to be the next double header. I'm not worried about transfer windows and deadline day so much because as you've seen, we either pre-agree deals or sign free agents. And at the moment, we've got that restriction with needing to sign homegrown players. And Paul Elliott, probably with respect, is the best we're going to get next window. We've got that to add to our backup team. I mean, it's not a bad position to be in, is it? But crucially, there will be Champions League football after the group stage. And we are going to be back to face Newcastle away. And hopefully we'll see a cup final just before it too. If you're looking forward to it and you did enjoy those 2 brilliant performances, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know about the impact of Mark Scully and Merivale Austin because I can't think in any save I've had over the years on this channel of 2 players that have made such an impact on the quality of a squad because the difference between not even being able to win the domestic league, dropping silly points in games against bottom half teams, and now we just score goals against everyone. It's an incredible turnaround, and those 2 have been so instrumental to it. If you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes, meet our new boy Paul Elliott next time, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time, but before it, we've got more action from the head coach tomorrow. A very different set of emotions in the current season of that one. You can check out the playlist in the eye above. There's links to everything else up there or down in the description below too. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you back here next time. Hopefully for a chance at another trophy. And again, a big trip to England in the Champions League. I'll see you there.